but the next thing is Ruto must go, because with or without the finance bill, this government, to set this country right, it needs an entire overhaul on that leadership. And we're not just doing Ruto alone. We are going to take Ruto down, take all those MPs who said yes, because you are misusing the power we the people gave you.
Now, the Kenya Defence Forces personnel were seen patrolling city streets on Thursday, hours before the High Court delivered a ruling on whether to suspend the deployment of the military as part of reinforcement plans to neutralize chaotic scenes during the anti-finance bill demonstrations. The KDF personnel could be seen snaking through protesters, but they stayed short of engaging them. The deployment of the military to quell protests had been deemed unconstitutional by a section of leaders and Kenyans. However, police, on the other hand, lobbed tear gas of pockets to protesters around the city as they attempted to access the central business district.
Ilienda na live ingine sina hata.
Police in Mombasa engaged protesters in running battles, lobbing tear gas canisters to disperse crowds that had converged in various locations within Mombasa Central Business District. This, as a civil society group, Muslims for Human Rights, also known as Muhuri, in Mombasa, said that 3 people were confirmed dead, with more than 50 other protesters nursing serious injuries at the Coastal General Teaching and Referral Hospital following the ongoing anti-finance bill 2024 demonstrations.
Tunaona kuwa polisi wametumia nguvu nyingi sana kuumiza vijana, na ninapoongea na umma ni kuonyesha kuwa polisi ni kama wamelemewa na maandamano haya. Jana tumekuwa mochari na tumeona vijana wawili wamekufa, vijana wadogo sana kama miaka 18 19 hivi, wamepigwa risasi. Tumeangalia mmoja mpigwa risasi ya kichwa, mwingine mpigwa risasi ya mgongo, na wako pale Coast General, waliletwa kama unknown. Na vile vile kuna mmoja pia alikufa akipigwa matia gas mingi sana, kijana, yeye naye sasa yuko Pandia. Kwa hivyo Mombasa tuna confirm kama watetezi wake za kibinadamu ni watu 3 wameuliwa na polisi.
Corruption in Kenya is eating this country. Correct. The issue number 2 is unemployment. If you see the magnitude of people, if you see the demography of our young people coming out to fight for their rights, please don't even kill them. You're talking about you have only killed 6 people, when we know very well ya kwamba wale ambao wameaga dunia hadi kufikia sasa ni watu zaidi ya 30. Kwa sababu watu wamekufa, watu wameaga jijini Nairobi, watu wameaga hapa Mombasa, watu wameaga Nakuru, hata Kakamega.
Sasa kwamba this and Kenya demonstrate peaceably. Wakitoka hapa wakienda barabara mpaka State House, there should be no violence. The police must respect the rights of the Mombasa people and Kenya at all.
We want to tell Ruto that he should stop lying to Kenyans. He as the president has no powers to withdraw a bill. We only needed 2 terms from the president. 1, I reject the bill. Number 2, I assent the bill.
Governor James Orengo has torn into the decision by President William Ruto to withdraw the Finance Bill 2024, citing that the Constitution does not allow for withdrawal by head of state but only referral. Senior Counsel Orengo at the same time called for the resignation of President Ruto from office following the uproar and subsequent rejection of the bill. President William Ruto on Tuesday declined to sign the Finance Bill into law and has called for its withdrawal, saying he has listened to the views of Kenyans. The president pointed out that he would go by the wishes of the people.
The president cannot withdraw. The Constitution does not give him powers to withdraw. I know he can refer to Parliament, to the National Assembly, or to the Senate, whichever the House is relevant for purposes of that bill. But even the House has to undertake a vote. Already their functions official, they had already dealt with the matter. It's the House which passed the entire bill. And also that bill went to the National Assembly after it had been approved by the President. The same President who is now referring it back to the National Assembly. So what happens now is that, the National Assembly can still say, no, we don't agree with the President. Or if the National Assembly does not meet or does not sit like it's not sitting now, the finance bill can still become an act, because under the law and by the operation of the Constitution, the expiry of 14 days after the assent or the refusal to assent will automatically bring about the publication or the constructive publication of the bill, and then it becomes law. So it's a plain words. It's a plain words. This was his own document.
Welcome to the newspaper review. Consolata Chibalonza is my name. Of course, in every newspaper, the story number one is the military question. This is all about the finance bill. Now, we start at the Standard, which says that in exact the standards, the military question. How the military will remain in the streets to help police kill protests. A court ruled yesterday as thousands of demonstrators came out in major towns, albeit in smaller numbers than on Tuesday, to protest against the Ruto's administration. Yes, that story we have tackled on. Earlier on. Rigathi Gachagua has learned the art of taking credit out of government projects while disassociating himself from its unpopular decisions. That Standard has quoted it as Deputy President borrows from Ruto's books. Some of the four things featured on the Standard, as highlighted right there on your screen, is number one, America's call for restraint amid finance bill protests backs dialogues. Anti-finance bill protests continue countrywide though on a lower scale. Number three, opulence flaunting MPs eat humble pie and seek ways to reconnect with voters. And lastly, Bishop Kosige's ordeal at the hands of Gen Z protesters in the Parliament siege, or as we like to call it, siege. That is the Standard. We move on to the Daily Nation. Those we lost. Now, a picture of 8 young souls that were lost during the protests or the demonstrations. From Kisumu, we have Benson Bithi. From Nairobi, we have Rex Masai, Eric Kayoni, and Evans Kitaru. From Nakuru, we have Michael Kihunga, Austin Makoha, and finally from Kakamega, Caroline Shiramba. That is Benson Bithi from Kisumu, Evans Kitaru, Rex Masai, Eric Kayoni, Ibrahim Kamau from Nairobi, and then Nakuru, Michael Kihuga and Austin Makoha, 17 years old. Those are the lives lost. At least 23 young Kenyans were killed as anti-tax protests turned ugly after security forces moved in to quell the rage sparked by youthful demonstrators across the country. Data released by a government agency indicated that Nairobi witnessed the highest execution at 18. Distraught parents and relatives walked from one hospital to another and finally to mortuaries where they found the bodies of their loved ones. Did they have to die? That is the question by the Daily Nation. Now, a lobby of civil society groups put the number of deaths at 53, with 30 in Nairobi. This number has not is not yet known for sure how many people were lost in the demonstrations. I have heard of more than 100 people. I have heard of 157 people. I have heard of these 53 people, and also now the 23. The amount is not yet known, but even a single life should not have been lost. Now, why court okayed the decision to deploy military? You will find it there. 2 days is the number of days. 2 is the number of days Defense Cabinet Secretary Adendwale has been given to publish a new Gazette notice stating the scope and duration of the military engagement. Yes, we need to know how long we will be seeing the military. And one thing I love about the military, they were just there, like, you do you, but just don't cross my line. And it was okay. It was better than Tuesday. Now, at the back of the Daily Nation, dismissed JSS intern teachers to be rehired. Finally, some piece of good news. Finally, the Star, tax revolt evolves into calls for radical reforms. Online campaign demands sweeping changes in government, sacking officials charged over graft. Yes, it started with, we do not want the finance bill, but now the tune has changed into, we also need some changes done within the government. Gen Z scaled down protest amid heavy military deployment. Photos of the military in their regalia as well as police, they are making headlines. Fingers crossed, Diego hopes to stay within the Olympic quota after winning the African title. Of course, javelin thrower Julius Diego, who learned through YouTube, is at the back of the Star newspaper. And that does it for our newspaper review this morning. I am going to bring my panelist. All right, two creatives, that is. Yeah, good morning. Chibalonza Consolato is my name. Over to you. Guys. Somebody introduce. Let me treat you the way I treat my guests, my other guests. Welcome to EBN TV. This is The Drift. Today I am honored to be joined by two. I have nothing good to say about you guys. I'm sorry.
Wow. Hey, we reject that introduction.
I tried.
We reject that introduction. Good morning. Castro over here. We're happy to be in the place. Still smelling like tear gas. Wow.
Wengine wanasema international murderers fund, sisi tunasema I must fight. If you know and you know and you're happy.
It's the IMF for me.
Clap your hands. Yes, so haya wacha tuone sasa. It's a drift. Karibu sana. My name is Victor. Aliyeongea kabla yangu anaitwa Castro, na aliyetutangulia kuintroduce vishaga holela kama watu wengine kwa streets ni your host Chibalonza. Yes.
No.
Kulikoje?
I reject. That has been the slogan. Of course, that is where we're going to start. People are out on the streets rejecting, occupying. I don't know. Maybe.
Na usalimia. People have been
wakakuwa Waluya.
Ati salamu ni za Yesu.
Wewe MP wa Tongaren.
We no man.
Wakenya wote wakakuwa Waluya bana.
Why?
Salamu. Kutuma salamu.
Enda kutuma salamu.
Kutumeko.
No man.
Anywho, guys decided to be lawyers. No. Let me just ask, what was your experience? Where were you on Tuesday, on Wednesday, on Thursday? Your experiences, guys.
It was charismatic for me. I was experiencing the lawyer hit kwa vikombe ambapo watu wengine walikuwa wamezuru. Wait, you're talking about Thursday?
Thursday and Tuesday zote.
Oh, Tuesday and Thursday. So on Tuesday, mimi personally watu wakafanya kitu walifanya. Mimi nilikuwa nataka kuona what things are going to go on Thursday. Thursday kalinuka vibaya sana, and it was I don't know. I'm usually comical, but hapa nakosa. Nakosa. Maybe kikuja ina nini, but it was bad. It was.
Where were you?
I was in the middle of it all.
At the center of it all.
Hapo CBD.
Jana you in CBD?
On Thursday, no. Yesterday. Not Thursday, not jana.
Tuesday.
Tumekuwa na wiki mzima.
Your guy is confused.
Bana, the effect, unajua ile Colgate tumeonyeshwa na Gen Z haitoi.
But then who came up with that idea of Colgate? Because we were there and then you see like white tunapatana na mtu ya red na sikupatana na mtu akona ile ya black. Sijui kama hiyo black haifanyi.
Ila chako.
But huko ndio nilikuwa, but we thank God we are safe. We really I saw a lot of graphic personally, but Nisa, I just thank God for life kwanza. Before we thank God for freedom and fight for it, we thank God for life kwanza.
Castro ulikuwa wapi?
On Tuesday. Inside
Where huko EBN on Tuesday.
Ulikuwa parliament?
No, hapana.
Mimi
sijajiapisha. Na watu walikuwa wanasema haiva vipoa.
Ndio skari ati watu ni diabetic huko ndani.
But on Tuesday I was in the middle of it. It was fun. But I had one experience. I think there was one tear gas that was thrown probably 5 meters from where I was. And then I had lowered my mask. That thing got into me.
Wow.
Sijai koa hivyo, and then you're tearing up, and then you're running. Going to look for a place where you can breathe. Then after you breathe, yeah. But it was an amazing experience. But for me, the thing was, you're running away from tear gas in here, and then hapo unapatana na wasee wako juu ya tire.
Yaani unasema hata tire unapita hapo unapatana na jenzi ameshikilia nini yenyewe tear gas anapiga.
There was one they were walking with a cop, and then as other people were talking with the cop, mmoja akaitoa tu hapa na cop hakusikia, ikaenda tu.
Wow.
And so, for me, the biggest highlight for it was that, yani, you could see some notable celebrities coming through, and then, if you're not part of it, we will unfollow you.
Oh wow!
Pesa yako yote.
Yeah.
Akuna like, yeah. And then
it was bad.
Yeah, it was nini, and then I think everyone made their voice heard, but hey, we were there in the middle of it. Peaceful until now the goons came. But it was very peaceful. It was a good experience. I think that was a day I felt a bit patriotic for your country. You did something bigger.
They also said that the people who were seen on the streets did not look like people who have Twitter or X accounts. They did not look like people who would access IG or know what exactly a trend is, lack of a better word. So that's, I think, the people who are really against the finance bill, once the president, wait, before I say anything, president alikataa kusign. What does that mean for you?
Castro.
Castro is a politician and a pastor here.
Political. Leo tuja kupea nini propia gazeti.
Where are my papers?
Pole sana.
I'm on it.
Where are my papers?
But ni venye news recently zinaweza washa jiko, so for now let's keep the heat to a minimum. I'll see.
Kindly bring me my papers. But it's I think there's what the people are saying that yes, he hasn't signed it, but still, kama haja sign in 14 to 21 days, it still can become law. But now the thing is, it has to go back to the third reading, and I don't know if it will be subject to another round of voting. But there is a scare among the people that if kama yes, haja sign, but it still can become law. Based on cause washapitisha na kuna hizo number of days, is it 14 to 21?
Mi kenye naona, but this is just me, guys, musini nini sana. The reason why I think he signed is because, and I was afraid of this. One, government is government, whether we like it or not. Tulichagua and still sahi kona power. So unless we recall everyone who we had told to go and represent us, bado ndio wako hapo. Sawa, they walipewa your power. Now, for the Kenyan people, all of us, achana na wenye tunasema tu ati sijui Gen Z peke yake, to want and take back that power which is given kwa constitution, like we can exercise your right hivyo. For us to want to do that, it means now we are almost going at loggerheads na hawa wenye wako hapo. Unaona, you want to take back something that was there. Mtu anafanya kitu yenye ujisikii unajaribu kuchukua. Now here comes resolve mbili. So my worry was if resolve ya wa Kenya na wananchi haitaenda chini na ya government haitaenda chini, no one will want to take a back step. So inamaanisha whoever mwenye atachukua lead kidogo ata have kuidouble so that hao wengine ikuwe funzo kwao. Kama ni and that's why you're seeing protests. It started with Occupy Parliament, reject, then Occupy, sasa ni Zakayo akishuka aendange akienda. You know, which now government iko like tumesuppress, and that's why you're hearing about mara Githurai, mara sijui, you get. So ni lazima mwenye atafarm dominance afarm kabisa. So in my opinion, hata sisemi ni kama ilikataa kusainiwa. I think this was just level heads trying to prevail, because at the rate at which things were going, if that thing was signed, I don't think watu wangeuliwa huku, watu wachomewe vitu huku, watu wafanyiwe nini. So I just think it's a political tactic, yeah, at least to cool things. Like you're saying, hizo siku kadhaa zimebaki tuone what is going to. Jio moto imewaka na sio poa.
But then they are going, the MPs are going on recess. Should be for 2 weeks.
Yeah, to go.
But now the thing is wakirudi watakaa wapi? Literally.
But tuko na Jivanji, as in we have places, guys, parliament. Mali tunakaanga bunge la wananchi. Ibara kuna bunge ingine hapo. Tutakaa karibu next. Mimi nataka Oscar Sudi. Tukae na wewe hapa guy.
Oscar Sudi ameambiwa fungua kanisa. Mambo ya bar. Chana bana.
Okay, so that welcome to Kenya. That we are Kenyans. Apparently it started some bits of conflict here and there around the world, over and above. How they said Tanzanians were like, kama Kenya mnaingia kwa bunge.
Tuwapongeza wa Kenya, nyinyi ndio Kiswahili hata tumewaachia.
Hatutasimama wa Kenya wakiandamana.
Unajua kuna mwingine anasema hata huyu Diamond tumampo wewe mchukueni wewe ni huyo.
Tunamwomba tumchukue. The world is Kenya, we don't want. We like.
But you know, like the other place I've ever seen a protest like that was in Pakistan. I don't know if they managed to get in. I can't remember. I think I had followed your story kitambo. But even for me, I think the moment I think we were having lunch just with
Parliament.
No. No. I can't go there. I can't. No. So, and I remember they like even at that, because most of the eating joints had been closed in town. So now the ones we were getting, everyone was jammed in there. So we were jammed in there, we were just having, and then someone just said, "Wamengia Parliament!" Yeah! Everyone was like, you know, like for me, like in the back of my mind, I was like, how has that happened? Like people have got into the Parliament.
They went.
Like it has never happened in Moi's time. Okay, Kibaki, there wasn't like any of those things. Like this is something unheard of.
Yeah.
Ordinary citizens, like citizens who are not elected, let me not call them ordinary citizens because all of us are citizens. Like Kenyan citizens have managed to get into the Parliament. A new generation got into Parliament. So what message does it send to the rest of the nation? Like, I think this is the place we can say nothing is impossible. True. If you believe.
True.
If you believe.
Yeah, it is but ni hiyo transparency. You know, kuna kitu yenye mimi nafurahia kwa hii yote, hata kama things are okay, we are going maybe to talk about how devastated and nini a lot of Kenyans are and the loss na nini. But I'm happy because now kuna an outcry for accountability and transparency. Unaona hata hiyo, if we had like honest politicians. Me I don't know, mulikuwa watu wanahepa huko kwa nini kufanya nini huko chini underground kwa tunnel. Where are you hiding?
It's like they have been on a high horse.
Aulize nani mko wapi? Ati tuko Ndethe. Nani amwambia mko Ndethe? Umejua aje? Ni hao ni ulikula. Ni hao nilipea nilikula.
Because now the aftermath, like yes, you are hiding there, and then you are thinking we are never go. Yani people can never get you. And you remember, I think there is a show here. I remember. I remember I said, like, of course people are tired, but I remember saying, like, clearly, like, the president anafaa jue huwezi kuwa mjanja kushinda everyone. At some point utapatikana. And I think alikuwa anajua asha kuwa mjanja above every other politician. He never saw like the people you least expect. The people you least expect yani wamekushinda ujanja.
True.
And of course, yes, he still has an upper hand at some point, because this whole movement, there is a vacuum. It doesn't have a leader. Though it is still working as a double-edged sword. Like, kama kuna leaders, the government will abduct them. But then you see a movement without leadership. It's a movement that can fizzle out and die. Or it can turn into anarchy, right? And can become a wildfire. Yeah. But like, yani the people you least expected have come out and they have managed to get into the parliament. And did you see that meme ati we amka we criminal we criminal bado unalala amka usome map ya State House. People shared the map of the State House.
Wow.
So meaning had there been no taken like those security precautions and those measures that were taken.
It's not even about taking the security precautions. If Ruto had not said what he said,
ilikuwa imesemwa kama a tactic ya cool down. And I think kuna okay, it might be hearsay, but it is true. I think it is true. The president does not have a lot of time kuingia ati kwa mtandao personally yeye, unaona, anze kuangalia ati what people are saying, how the mood is. So I think he had not really known. In fact, hata hiyo dekalinuka sijui alikuwa Nax ama alikuwa Naivasha akifanya
Naivasha.
So huku kwingine unajua president amezungukwa na watu. Unajua kuna wale watu ambao tunaitanga ni kama wanakupaka mafuta kwa mgongo wa chupa akikwambia baba hatujaumwa sana.
Wewe ndio baba.
Wanakupulizia. So I think when he saw what was happening alikuwa like wacha let me try and and now he wants to talk to people na nini. So we are going to see. I think he's not really a bad person ukikaa naye peke yake, but pia intel yenye inafikia mtu. Show me your friends,
but then
and I will show you how unfriendly you can become.
Tunaona mtu ametumwa na Rigiji.
The security
sikusema ni nani.
It's what do you call them? NIS who are responsible of briefing the president, and probably they have been on a high horse. Like they are the mood of the citizens. So the mood of the citizens imekuwa ni ngori, and it's people have taken into consideration. I know one of the comments I really liked during the protests. There were people who are saying the next elections tutambia wazazi nyika any home. Sisi ndio tunaenda kupiga kura.
Okay, that is good.
And that is
55% will become the president
of the electorate.
And that is how Jacoya will rule the nation. Anyway.
No. As you are not, kuna jokes.
We are taking a break from the Mandamanos to something that happened last week. Later on in the show, I will put one of them quite tight spot. But for now, I would love to ask, one of you, of course, Naliwe Victor. Nani ndo nimekuwa nikimwambush kila siku. Like it's always been Castro. Pia wewe umefikiwa. This is the day. Yes. So, last Friday, we had a skit here. So I want Castro, tell me what you thought about Victor's acting, and Victor, tell me what you thought about Castro's acting.
My acting was, but then I saw
say about your acting.
I saw someone that had shared that script.
Yes.
Online. I don't know why. But so you go first, I might go first, because me, I'm going to destroy you.
Siwende.
Me, I want to destroy you, man. I will occupy you.
Hii ni Gen Z.
Wewe ni Gen Z.
Kwa nini? Hii ni Gen Z. Hii ni masani ya Gen Z.
Wewe. Wewe ni.
Unasikia ati kwa matatu madereva wanaambia madonda masani ya Zakayo ati washuke. Basi sio poa. Anyway, twende. Sema.
No, you start. You're the professional.
Hakuna professional. Okay. What I thought about you guys. Mimi huyu jamaa sijakataa aliambushiwa ati akuje afanye nini karao hapo chop day, but by the way he tried because alikuwa tu ana smile like we follow orders kama sijui kai karibu ni
salama mzee. Asante.
Yani mshauri mkuu na binamu Majoka amelitembelea soko la walala hoi
na water tank ile ni kuspray ile maji ya nini strawberry na banana flavor. Hiyo ungepewa I think ungekuwa sawa. Kuna wengine walipiga orange. Hadi orange. Macho
manze like kuna wasaidu walipanda hiyo gari. Tuko like Super Metro mpya.
Super Metro ni za color green.
Hiyo ilikuwa narusha ma strawberry.
Sasa ningesema Super Metro ni za color green hizi mpya, the new edition. Yeah, so I think I liked the way you're oblivious about the role is how I feel some cops are oblivious. Not all of them, but yeah, to that extent I think you are the best person for the job to portray the Kenyan situation of Kenyan police. Hata wewe by the way picha yako inafaa kutumika kwa billboard ya Haiti. Polisi wanaenda Haiti. But you're good. Uko poa brother. I see a future for you in the not so.
Hallelujah. Thank God.
Aya.
Manze, I was thinking I'm going to, after I left I was like, we are going to Hollywood.
Unaenda bedhi?
Mimi naenda Hollywood.
Tyler Perry, sijui kama kuna namba ya mnatafuta nani? Nasikia Butita YouTube channel. Ukifungua YouTube channel nyingine, this is the guy.
Yeah.
Tafuta role ya Karao mpe.
By the way, what happened? Nani amefungua YouTube channel?
I don't know. But usijali wewe future yako unaenda kufunguliwa na Tyler Perry.
But I hear rumors that ni Butita mwenyewe ali suspend for some time to prevent it from collapsing.
Inawezekana ndio, unajua pia, but it's good ali preempt.
Yeah.
Ukiwa in a position kama hiyo before hata president succumb to, I mean sio kusuccumb, hata wewe unashuka kwanza, unamwambia aliye juu
ngoje chini,
unakimbia chini unamngojea hapo.
Ndio
mtafute lift mtupandishe tena sugar.
Ndio
mtupandishe sukari tena. Bye.
Yes, Castro.
Yeah, but I'd completely
nichome.
But I think it was I always wanted to see you acting, and I think you are such a natural. I enjoyed watching you, and I think the part I was playing as a cop, and the part I was not serious is because I had forgotten. I'm in the script because I was following people, and I'm laughing while people are doing that. I love sasa ukiingia kwa scene, you're still in that place, so sikuwa najua kuswitch on the character and all that. And we
very like a police. Venye tu umeongea like ulikuwa umesahau wewe ni mwananchi pia, ati sio polisi tu, ukasahau kaanza kujiangalilia maandamano.
Uliona ni polisi mwingine kwanza tiaga simemrunda tu na anakuja kupua maji na Wakenya.
Alafu anaanza kuuliza ni nini nilikuwa natia gas? Hata sioni. Ni nini? Haya, acha nimalize alafu turudi. Haya, on your marks, rudi pale. Acha ni aim. Unipe maji kwanza.
Manze.
Ni mbaya.
But ni safa, it was good. Me I enjoyed. And you guys are good at what you do. I wish you the best.
Me too.
Yeah.
Foreshadowing. Hizo ni, I don't know. In fact, let me just put this. Someone was asking me, ati mbona hizi vitabu ziko relevant sana? Ati Kigogo, Kifo Kisimani. But I was like, they're not really relevant. It's like the African leaders in most of the countries ndio wako predictable. Like this one you can apply time ya Moi era. Almost zote across all other countries. In fact, there's even another book which is called sijui kando inafanywa sai father of nations. Same thing.
Abraham.
It's about it's a book in a someone. It's a very it's a very good book.
That was a good one.
Yeah, African leaders and the way they are doing. So the script is, and I was telling this person, unless our leaders in Africa change, then the same kitabu, kigogo, sijui kifo kisimani, sijui nini, all those things, they are going to be applicable 10 years from now. But if we have a change in nini, then ata utaona the writers of the day are going to even change their approach. Because
but then again, what do you expect? Mtoto amesoma kigogo. Kwenye kigogo, the only way Majoko was able to bow down is by maandamano ya Tunu na Sudi. So mbona huyo mtoto amesoma hivyo for 4 years, amerudia kitu over and over again, when as he put to the test?
No, my bigger question would be wale ambao wamesoma, because the people who also accept that hizi vitu ziko kwa curriculum are the ones in government. You see, so hata hao kama wameapprove hiyo na wanajua what is happening, why can't they think of preempting vitu kama hizo and change their ways so that tusifike such an eventuality, people don't have to die.
Fasi ni kioo cha jamii.
Yeah. So that's, unless we change how we do things as leadership and nini in Africa, then these books are going to be relevant. Na msiwahi shtuka ati, oh, it is copy paste. It's not copy paste. It's just the way we have been living. So Mungu atusaidie sana, we change our ways.
So help us God.
Yeah.
So help us God. So in Hong Kong, the Hong Kong officials, they called out to schools because they felt they did not sing, they sang the national anthem too softly. And it showed lack of patriotism.
Where?
Over to you.
Aya, kwanza wacha tuseme sio sauti zote za kuimba. I think it's only in Kenya that unasikianga musikilize message, musisikilize sauti.
Unajua jana tulishana na baba Jeff. Alikuwa ameniambia ati yako maandamano. Nikamuuliza, na ukienda Jeff ukienda ulipuliwe, nasikia hizo kanista zinalipua watu huku, kwa nini zinawapasua mkono na zinapasua? Aki kuna mtu aliliniwa balls kwa nini huko chini. Zililipuka man. Hey, I sacrifice my manhood for Kenya. Hey, kuna boys nini zililipuka man. We, tulikuwa hapo kwa kuimba. Huyo najua aliimba wimbo mpya. Patriotism ni poor, but you can exercise it.
So hawezi enda Euros.
Actually,
hawezi enda Euros.
How the Hong Kong officials walisema ati the teachers need to teach the children confidence and for them to strengthen their vocal cords, to show solidarity and what's it called? To show solidarity and patriotism.
I don't know. Does it mean, unajua pia mtoto sijui kama anaelewa patriotism nini. Like if someone owns something, they are even going to do more than is expected. But sasa ukianza kuambia mtu hivyo, by the way unaweza mpiga na ndio aimbe hiyo wimbo venye unataka aimbe, but yeye hata haielewa. You get, ni kitu tu we do for fun na nini, but I don't know if that is the best way to instill patriotism, if that's what they are calling. But sio vibaya for exercise the muscles and nini sawa. In fact, sisi Kenya tungekuwa tumeanza kuimba ama kuforsiwa hivyo kunini, the chances za maandamano maybe zingekuwa zimesikika na president a long time ago. So probably hiyo tunafaa kuwekewa kwa Kenyan system so that the next revolution, hii tunajua iko underway, but the next one, mtu atakuwa tu hata sio lazima tuende kwa streets.
Kwa nyumba tu.
Prezo kwa tu, nini hiyo nimesikia? Wait, reject him. You know, so probably.
Hey, man, like some of these countries have I never thought Hong Kong, because Hong Kong, I think at some point they did a revolution and changed their leader, so I never thought Hong Kong could have those dictatorial tendencies. But just the national anthem. Bana, kwani huku ama they still have some spillover of the communist, because I know that's something that you'll get in China and North Korea. No, that's sad. Like
but kama wamefinyika sana, wacha tumalize Kenya. Tukimaliza Kenya, we are coming to support you guys. Tutashikana.
Hong Kong.
We shall occupy. Wait, guy.
sikuwa.
Oh, hinta, Hong Kong.
That's racist.
Sikuwa.
Unyanyi tu hokumpan.
Ati tu nyanye nini?
They speak Chinese.
Hapana, huyu achana huyu.
No, not you, not yeye. Nasema Hong Kongians.
I think they speak Mandarin.
Hong Kongians. Where?
Leave me alone.
I'm sorry.
Leave me alone.
Mwalimu wangu wa grammar, this is not what you taught me. Hong Kongians.
What did they teach you?
People from Hong Kong are from Hong Kong. If I don't know what they're called, they're just from
Hong Kongese.
Hong Kongese. Hey, sir, boss. Hong Kongese.
The military is on the streets now. We're back to what? The demonstration. The military is on the streets. Why? And why am I asking this question? Sasa?
People are scared.
Sasa? The government of Kenya deployed 400 police officers to Haiti to help calm Haiti, a land occupied by rogue rebels,
Gangsters,
armed to the tooth, right?
Hata vibogoyo. It's serious.
Armed to the gums, right? Now, in Kenya, police officers said they were overwhelmed
the same ones
by citizens with actually the citizens
with Twitter accounts.
So tell me, if tweeters can overwhelm police officers,
if the exes,
yes, if the exes can overwhelm the Kenya police,
yes,
to the extent that the government was scared enough to call in KDF, police imewapeleka wapi?
Ukweli. It's a good question.
Mshahara ya 20k Haiti.
It's a good question.
That's something we asked over here. Like, Haiti is a country where a whole gangster leading a whole set can hold the whole country ransom.
In fact, huko unacheki venye ulikuwa unacheza bano ukiwa mdogo. Gani hivyo? Unacheza tapo? Mtu ametapo.
Like how do you send a policeman when they are training in Kiganjo was not even trained to what do you call it, to counter people like those. You see there are places here in Dandora police cannot get into because there's a clique of OGs there. There are places you cannot get into. So how do you send them to a terrain? First of all, they have not been trained in.
Umeenda mbali, Dandora ni mbali. Wewe vaa tu ni vest ya Chicago Bulls.
Exactly. Utavaliwa mbaya.
Ati kama?
Hiyo imeenda. Huyu ameenda.
Njoroge was able to hit a police officer akiwa kapiga black and
akiwa amevaa jezi ya basketball.
Jezi ya Chicago Bulls.
So how do you send hiyo kitu, it seems so political. The people wenye wanatumana huko, and then there is someone who was saying that the big guys are benefiting from that deal because I think it is sponsored by the US. How comes the US itself? The US ndio inafaa itume watu wao huko, at least they have at least the technical capacity to deal with like gangsters let's say LAPD and NYPD and wale wa Detroit, because those are areas which are infested by gangsters, and at least them they try. But then bado inakonga tricky kwa why don't you send them, ama why don't you train people from Haiti? And why are we Kenyans out of all umepita huko kwote kujia Kenya bwana. So you see, even one of the thing that the president alikuwa on a high horse was that he was dealing so much with global politics. He had forgotten his home ground. Alikuwa dhani home ground hapa kukosa, but kumbe in the home ground it was boiling over.
True.
So you are dealing with Haiti. First of all, deal with us here.
Kuna vitu nyingi sana zenye they are unexplainable, na I think mimi hata siwezi taka ati hiyo watu wanasema sijui Zakayo ashuke. Mimi nataka aongee tu na watu kwa tuelewe, because I think kuna vitu nyingi sana tuelewi. That is one of them. Unaona? because you don't understand that, and then
the people feel he doesn't care.
Exactly.
Like, you remember how we spoke on Friday? Was it Friday or it was on Tuesday in the evening?
Yeah,
people feel he doesn't care. People just want to feel he cares.
Yeah.
Anyway, but history, the military constitutionally is there to protect our borders.
Yes.
So what is this?
Hata mimi sielewi.
So now it still shows that our law enforcers in enforcing law in our nation, they are inept.
Yeah. And even the deployment of those people was supposed to be done after Parliament has convened and actually decided that it's supposed to happen. And then the Duale afanye nini? Apeane. But now
don't know na koti likata. I don't know what's happening.
Exactly, but you see what happens in times of crisis. Instead of us reverting back to our constitution, which should govern us, sasa tunaanza kuwa like tutafanya nini haraka? Haya, watume huko, wakishafika huko Duale atangaze, and then akitangaza sasa tuende Parliament. Yani nika ilifanywa kutoka mwisho nyuma ikiwa inarudi.
But then the military, it's like they had nothing against the people. The people were just celebrating.
Do you know?
Watu walikuwa wanafurahia tu kukuwa na wao, wanapiga ma selfies na wao.
Maybe hata walikuwa wanafurahia because their lives are spared. Unajua ni kama, have you ever danced in fire? Ushaenda ukalamba hivi moto? That is the same thing, because wote nikwambie kama karawawa normal wenye tunasema walivaliwa na nani? Walivaliwa na akina Njoroge and the like na venye wamekuwa kitolewa matikanista huku na watu wanavuta. If those guys can do hiyo damage yenye tumeona hivi, you do not want to know how 3 KDF watatu wanaweza fanyia Nairobi mzima. Trained na nini? Acha hao wenye tulikuwa tunaona ati sijui snipers wako juu ya City Market. Have you seen that?
Alafu wako very exposed bana, yuko tu.
Now ni hao makarao sio KDF. In fact, I feel how hata ni vizuri, let them escort people, let them do that, because if they were the kind of heat na nini wanatoleanga on our sewa huko nje na Al-Shabaab, I will not say what I saw, but I've ever seen venye wanafanyianga watu purported Al-Shabaab wakiwashika. My friend, kuna side ya Kenya yenye hutaki kuona. The type of interrogation, acha hawa watu wenye tunashikwa, which is unfortunate, ati mtu anashikwa hapa wenye tumekuwa tukiona wakishikwa, ati mnapelekwa mahali mnazungushwa siku 2 and then mnaachiliwa. Hao wenye tumeona akina Khalif na hao. These guys, when you will wish you, ushaiombea kifo. Father bless me with death. You will want. Wait. So thank you guys for KDF kwa na the courts for at least kushikilia hiyo, because I think we would have seen far much worse things. Mungu anatupenda tu man.
Aya, Rongai. Rongai. Kukakuwa na vugu na fujo na vurugu. That was what I was looking for. Kukakuwa na vurugu in Rongai. Then among the protesters, they realized there were goons and thieves. I remember there's a day we did a story on a thief who was told to dance to a song. But now for Rongaians, ama wanaitwaje?
Rongarens.
Now for Rongarens, akina kajina madem. Anyway, but now for Rongarens, they decided to they scoped out the thieves. Wakaweka katikati wakawatoa nguo na kuwapiga videdli. Was it really necessary kutoa watu nguo?
Kipigo kilikuwa deadly.
Nani walitolewa nguo?
Buda. Matiki
walipata wezi miongoni mwa waandamanaji. So waandamanaji wenyewe wakaamua kuwa shughulikia kapasi.
Nasi ni sawa.
Walinena nao wakawaambia
waliwasalimia kidogo,
kivue
akasalimiwa
salamu za Yesu. Tusalimiana kihose.
Lakini kwa nini watoe nguo?
I think
ni kuwa humiliate ndio siku nyingine.
Ni kuanika.
Ndio siku nyingine usifanye hivyo.
And then sijui kama ni waliwaambia juu venye wametoa nguo hiyo picha ukiona kama hujaona. Sijui kama ni hao waliwaambia huddle up together so that at least thermal equilibrium. Unaona juu hiyo hii baridi hadi haka kamsimu
walikuwa male wote.
Walikuwa wanaume wote, umeshikana hapo, you can see everything. Unaweza ona kisogo ya mtu, part nyingine unaweza ona ni gani guy magoti. Yaani all the parts unaweza kuona za mwanaume, elbow, I saw what you did. Hizo part zote. Part nyingine ni gani hapa kwa mgongo, maana huwezi. Yaani mwanaume sio embarrassed, usinione hapa. Lakini hizo wamebleed, you know, it's disturbing.
But nini, they kuna wase wana take advantage kama wase walikuwa na loot downtown. They took advantage wakaingia because the people huko they were peaceful. Nothing but wali take advantage na naona ni funzo kwao.
But do you see they were stripped naked? It's very ashamed, very embarrassing. But then aibu si umejitolea
ilioje.
Very sita I don't feeling vibaya for mtu kama huyo, because I remember, wacheni tu ni share kidogo, na niliona hiyo nikasema unajua Wakenya wanakuanga na a lot of anger. Sijui kama mnaonanga mob justice, unaona mtu from nowhere tu amechukua, it's very bloody na nini. But every time I see that na naurumia huyo, I remember one day nilipatikana na mtu saa 7 mchana, nimetoka kanisa, we walking with a friend of mine. 7 mchana? Saa 7 mchana nimetoka, it was on a Sunday. Sawa, mchana. Nimetoka
kwa hivyo unaendaga
wapi?
Kanisa.
Kwenda huko, shuka huko mahali unapanda. Nimetoka kanisa. I've never had such a gangster thing like this. Hadi ushaiambiwa kitu hadi uko like shika tu enda. So patana umse ako like, na tuko wawili na hao wako wawili. Wako like mnajua mahali petrol station sijui ya Caltex iko. And I'm like ndio hapa. So once nimesikia hivyo nikajua these guys are not nini. So anaenda anainua hoodie yako like unachiki brother, hii ni chuma. Wasikia? Mimi hata sitakwambia ati nini ama nini. Mimi nikitoka mtaa leo nilikuwa najua siwezi rudi. Nilikuwa nimejipanga hivyo. Wewe ulikuwa umejipanga hivyo? Yes, swali nikajiuliza. Niko like si kwa nimejipanga hivyo. Sasa itakuwaje au unatakaje? Shika nikaenda. Like this guy was basically telling me, mimi najua. I know unaweza toka hapa na nianguke pale. But in this time I will live my life to the fullest. Ulikuwa umejipanga hivyo? Nikafikiria bado hapana, sijaandamana, sija nini. So I was like wacha. Like kuna vitu nyingi sana nataka kufanya na life yangu. So when you see how watu wakiwa wanafanya hivyo, it just shows me that together communities can actually come together. You root out the negative. Unaona? Sio lazima, we don't need, I'm not saying we don't need police, but we don't need a higher authority to, we know what is moral, what is good, what is right, what is just. Mtu anazaliwanga na hiyo knowledge. So mkiona watu wana nini na wako kwenu na mnajua sio wenyu, root them out. That is what we are supposed to be doing. Hapo kwa kuwatoa nguo ndio sijui.
Aluta continua. Aluta continua.
So they were stripped. Sasa.
MPs wakakimbia wakaacha MP disabled kwa parking lot. Mimi, let me tell you, these guys, if you think an MP is there for you, uliza baba.
If they are not there for their own,
uliza baba yemi Kosgei.
Wow. Is this by the but huyo hata alikuwa ana expect nini, because akiona venye Wakenya wengine wanafanyiwa.
The police were saving the MPs from the parliament out through ambulances and stuff. Hawakuona kwa akili zao, kwa mafikra. Hawakuona at any given point baba Emi anaweza iko hata hapo mbele. Like they just like they completely left the guy, and then demonstrators wanafika huko chini wanakutana na baba Emi ako hapo like, hi guys, they forgot about me. And you know the best part is because the demonstrators were peaceful, walimtoa hadi nje, watu wakapeleka baba enda nyumbani salama. Gari yako ni gani ndio hii? Enda. Wewe achieni huyu apite. Hawa na maneno. Wenye maneno walihepa kwa ambulance, akafika mahali ambulance kafunguliwa
I think now for him hata wakiresume and he knows who is his friend. No one but Jesus.
Yes.
Uko ndani, you are alone.
The only friend you have is the Gen Z.
Kuja anza kumchekesha hapo. Ati brother, uliona kalinuka? Kalinuka.
Taunetnelel.
How do you do that? How do you live a disabled person?
At that point it was everyone for himself. So
But still huku nje wasee ma comrades that is your watu huku nje wanapigwa hadi maridhe man na wao wanajaribu hadi kuchukua mwili wafanye nini. Na huku people are abled, people are nini differently abled and you live. But it's sad.
If the MPs walikuwa nakimbia sawa basi, if I'm taking your side Castro video unasema ati people survival for the fittest, best runner wins the award whatever. If that was the case then when all MPs wako wanatoka on their own walikuwa wanatolewa police
hata wenye hata
polisi wameenda Haiti
wenye walikuwa na uliona madam fulani I don't know sijui alikuwa na faint ameishiwa na hewa hapo ana faint ati juu maandamano ati guys wamekam oh my gosh yani na watu huku nje wana nini and then you leave but it's sad it just shows I don't know but maybe walishtuka you know they have never known I think pia ilikuwa kipigo like they were just seated chilling MPs was just chilling and then kidogo wase it is today and then you remember all the things you have done or not done for your people
kama venye Nudi Haji was just chilling and
exactly and then akasikia na hatakiwa you never know na sima nikisema Kenya saa hii unaweza dhani umefinywa ati kiatu kuna mtu ana mguu ati kiatu imenifinya so ukianza kuteta kuna mtu atashout wewe umeshout 3-4,000 times kuna mtu anasema one word useme acha ninyamaze
wala but no if that is the kind of parliamentarians we have there's this debate going on do parliaments represent the needs of the people or the needs of the party and do we vote in people or do we vote in parties because if we voted for the party then the MP in question is not answerable to us but to the party in question.
Now, I hope with this new
the parties are supposed to be a vehicle which people use, but now I feel like the next elections we are going to see a lot of changes, like people not caring about the parties and all that.
But I hope so because there was a member of parliament who was arguing nyinyi watu mnajifanya hapa ati you're telling me not to go against my party and represent you but you also voted for me because I was in such and such party.
Yes.
You get that was the popular party mkachagua hiyo. The people who are running independent by the most times or the generation that was voting at that time let's wait and see. Your generation ilikuwa like wewe ni nani hauna jina you're not running with the big dogs so like wewe ni nani you get. And I feel that is what they did after to Boni. But
say there will be such a culture shift, and I think it's going to be a very hard task for the established organizations and established thinking patterns to realign people back to those patterns. So one of the things we are going to see a new crop of leaders and at least for now wale wase watajialign na the movement ndio the next one watapata nini because now this movement is a movement that will I know they will decide to vote because now the other time hawaku vote hivyo ni kama hawakuwa like wanaona hii nini the other time hawaku vote sana
but you see the most critical question is yes they will decide to vote kuna hii anga yote but I feel hapa kuna a crisis of hijacking all this potential because yes they are going to vote who are they going to vote for
now they will choose
because kuna mtu mwenye amekaa hapa sasa akiangalia hii opportunity if I can just speak their language because that is what was done by Hasla and Wilbaro mtu alisoma room akaona these guys need someone to champion the underdogs this junior akakam hivyo then after kuja kama underdogs akafanya watu mbwa so like saa hii no, we all created tuliumbwa that's what I'm saying tuliumbwa sisi wote na udongo ambao tunafanya sasa hii so sasa kuna mtu sahi maybe amekaa mahali because I was even hearing sahi kwa the spaces na nini there were people who actually walikuwa wanachochea watu tuende wapi tuende sijui wapi you know because this is a movement which has no face has no leader it's like at its sporadic but I am sure for every chaos kuna mtu ambaye ana capitalize
so of course there are people who are going to come up and especially now you see now for someone like let's say mse kama Edwin Sifuna he is a person this generation will respect so akaamua tu kidogo asimame for something big the generation will give
ama Kiding Babu Owino
I know people had different comments about Babu, you know, because of ile story pew pew. They are like, we don't want another person that can pew pew. So this generation, they have shifted the narrative, and now we have like another 3 years. That is if the president does not get to a place where he resigns, ama he dissolves the parliament, that we go ndio tuende for by-elections. Like most of these guys, especially everyone that voted in yes, you'll never hear au kuna kitu wataipewa au wako nje. So now in those places yenye walikuwa, the generation will make sure walete wase wengine. And another thing about this movement is that even those who are not on the streets, the parents, they were supporting the movement. So the next voting, it's going to be now. It will be now the place of revolution by the ballot. Now this is revolution on the street, but on that one, kutakuwa revolution on the ballot.
But let me play devil's advocate for everyone who is watching. Na msinikasirikie, but it is because I have been seeing things. Hii ni revolution imeanza sahi. Probably the people who are trying to do this ama nini, they are a bit new to how things are done. Kama kuna mtu amekuwa akisomea hii maneno, ni our president. And probably Kenya haijamshtua ni because hajashtuliwa, because he has seen a lot. He has been there for a very long time. He has his ear to the ground. Vitu zenye anafanya sahi to even probably secure another 5 years, because nasikia rumor that he was due maybe hata hizo 5 sio lazima umalize. But let's not be very quick to ninivo. We do not know what he knows. Huyu ni jamaa amesurvive ICC.
I actually agree
with you.
I actually agree with you, Victor.
We don't know.
One day in politics is like a year, can do a huge damage. Case in point, in finance bill, it only took someone saying yes for him to be assured that hatapata vote come 2027. But put in mind, we have 3 years to go. We have 3 years to go.
It's a long time.
A lot can happen in the next 3 years. So I hope we can stick to that. Now, finally, yes, I know, time, yes, I know. Finally, hii tutaipitia mbio, na tuende. Hebu put you on the spot. Nataka tutoke drift kama hatufikiri politics. Does age really matter? Betty Chano has been on the internet because she's dating someone half her age, allegedly. Sijui miaka yao bwana, sijui miaka ya Betty, sina proof, sijaona ID zao, but allegedly half her age. Does age matter?
Pole, najua umesema tutoke kwa politics, but wacha nirudishe hapo. Wacha nikwambie, tukisema vijana wapewe kazi na wapewe empowerment, this is what we mean. This is what happens. Sahi, wacha niweke kwa in this perspective. Sahi kuna kijana mwenye anasema I have a girlfriend lakini mimi sina pesa, sijui nini, nataka tuishi vizuri. Akadem kanaenda kanapata na mbabas. Mbabas anakapea maisha. Dem anaenda. Boy anaanza kulia akiwa anasema, "Oh, mimi wacha ni work hard, siku moja nitakuwa na pesa kama huyo mzae." Aki work hard akuwe na pesa kama huyo mzae, anakuwa like, kwani paka mzee anakunyonga mala? Hapana, anakunyonga maziwa. So what does he do? He repeats the cycle. He becomes the person he hated. So that is why tunasema empowerment ikikuja kwa vijana mapema, mtu ataishi ile maisha anataka, so that asiende akuwe mzee aanze kuharibia vijana wengine wenye ameacha hapo chini. Nimemaliza.
Watu wote wa Roysambu mapaka wazee wenye walikunywa KCC jana. Yes,
I'm just saying. So hata huyo sijui kama ni nani.
So haujajibu swali yangu lakini hiyo statement yako ime make sense. No, statement yako ime make sense.
Nimejibu.
Yes, hujasema if age is a
So hatujui kama Betty Chalo anajaribu sahi
It's not about Betty. Now it's not about Betty. I'm asking just in the general scope of a relationship. Does age really matter? Is it a thing? Should it be in the green flags, red flags thingy?
Sasa ndio nasema, unaona kwa hiyo nini, like kuna venye watu wanasema ati ukimiss chance yako you can still live up ahead. That's why unasikia watu wanarudi soko alafu unapata nyanya ndio zimerudi soko ni wanyanya like wazee washosho. So unapata uko ndani ndio maboi sasa ndio.
Mic sasa zima hii. Castro bashiwa mic.
It does matter and it doesn't matter.
Expound.
It does matter. Now there are times where with age there comes experience and the learning, and then it also on the specifics. Ama the choices of the people. There are ladies who feel they cannot date someone who is younger, and the others and that is it. And the others, unaenda huko unapigwa na life, and then you're like, hey, okay, like can take anyone. So then you can still have someone who is younger and has capacity, and you can have someone who is older and doesn't have capacity. So age does and
it does
doesn't.
not. Actually, umejibu vizuri. It does not matter.
It does or it doesn't.
The maturity.
Depending on the person, but then it is the maturity, the capacity to handle someone, for the man, like the capacity to be a leader. If you can be 5 years younger, like I know this footballer called Zlatan Ibrahimovic. His wife he is 11 years younger than the wife.
Zlatan na hiyo urefu yote.
And wanasonga vizuri. They met when he was 19. They met when he was 19, when he was playing at Ajax.
Wewe. Sign out.
No sana.
Sign out.
Aya.
Pum 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 pum.
Sign out. Aya, we are sign out. Age does not matter, that is me, because kuna watu watatumia hiyo waseme ati hata vijana ni wadogo Gen Z sijui nini, capacity, maturity. So, that is what we are saying.
Chalo amefanywa ile kitu Mili alikuwa anafanywa. Maybe young.
But
you have the
kijana aliambia ati Mili nini, we are young but we have inches. I don't know kama ni za kumeasure how far you're going to go in life, but hapa on the drift I know we are going far. That is how I sign out. Yes, Mimi, bye.
God bless you. God bless you. I know God got us as Kenyans. We are going to make it through this, and we are going to have an amazing time. Change is in the air. It is inevitable, and we have to embrace it as a nation. So,
thank you, Castro. Thank you, Victor. My name is Consolata Chibalonza. I leave you with this. Just because chakula iko kwa fridge imaanishi ni fresh. Bye.
Hey.
Freshi barida.
Kwenye canister.